here's a scenario. This is going to be our first role play that we'll look into. But here is a video series that was done around sexual harassment in the workplace. So we'll watch the scenario. I think it's only like 4 minutes, something around there. It is Ross from Friends, in case you're searching for who this is. But let's look at this video, and then we'll discuss it.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah, thank you. I can't find the McGinnis file. I keep losing it. I mean, I don't know. Is it me?
No, I don't know. Hold on. Don't be silly. Oh, that's weird.
Right? It keeps disappearing.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna find it. Just give me 1 second.
Starving. Haven't eaten since lunch.
Ah, here it is.
Where?
I'm just gonna drag it to your desktop for now. What? It was in the damages file. It didn't have its own file like the rest of the families in the lawsuit. But I'm just gonna organize this tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Oh, thanks, my dad.
Oh, really? You're very sweet.
Cute. All right. If you're done, I'm gonna get going.
Oh, yeah. Where are you headed?
No, we're just home.
Well, I'll take you.
Oh my goodness, no, don't be silly.
No, it's no problem. I'm out of here.
No, it's fine.
I'll drop you.
I'm four stops away in the queue. I'm really fine. Yeah.
What, you don't get bothered on the train?
No, I put in my headphones and I listen to my music and then...
Nice.
Yeah, I just go in my own little world. It kind of clears my head. It's nice.
Actually, you know what? That sounds really nice. No, I should probably join you on the train. Clear my head. Get one of those splitters, headphone.
Oh, yeah.
So you're happy here? Everything good? You're happy
wow,
here?
yeah, for sure, yeah. I've been great.
You're comfortable? Everyone treating you right?
Yeah, everybody's been just great. I feel really lucky to be here.
Good.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm really glad we chose you.
Me too.
Even though, there was, a contingency that were like, they wanted someone older with more experience. It's a big responsibility.
Oh, it's huge. I know, it's huge.
And the salary.
Oh my god, yes.
Right?
I was about to move in with my parents, and right before, so this saved me. So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. No, I just want you to know that I really believe in you,
Thank you. It's nice to hear that from someone.
These are cool. Did you, what did you... What?
I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend.
No, that's okay. I'm married. I was just trying to show you how much I appreciate you, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I really do.
I just don't know if I'm kind of comfortable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No, I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
No,
that's not my style.
I know, it's fine. So I'm gonna go.
I can see it's not fine. You're not fine. Listen, I want things to be comfortable between us.
No,
okay?
it's okay.
No, I feel it's not. I feel it's not okay, and I really am sorry. I want to make it okay.
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 Are we good? Nothing happened.
No.
Nothing happened. All right? I was showing, what it was? I just want to show you how great you are, how good you are.
Thank you. Okay.
And that's all. Okay? We're good? We're friends? Friends?
We're friends.
Okay.
We're friends.
Come on. Let's have a hug.
I don't think that's right.
No, let's end this properly. Come on.
Okay.
There, and here, this is how we end things properly. All right? Okay. Okay?
All right, yeah.
Okay?
Sure.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Sure.
Anyway, it came out about 4 weeks ago. There's other videos as well. I really like this because he's kind of a nice guy. But I wish that this video didn't have him kiss her, because he was creepy the whole time without kissing her. And he was out of line the whole time, even without the kiss. I don't know. Or is that just me being all Sue from Sarnco sexual harassment type? Were there behaviors that you saw around the kiss or without that you would find problematic? Like what? He arrested her movement. Yeah, in a couple ways. He stood in between her and the door, which, like, you don't need to put your hands on somebody for that to be communicating. And some of his, like, holding of her, touching her hands and her forearms, are those the moments you're... The door one, yeah. What other stuff? Yeah, he's like, I can give you home, and he didn't take no for that a couple times. Right, and it's also, like, encultured in a way that it's like, no, go ahead, no, I don't mind. And it seems like that's a nice thing to do, except he uses that vibe to cover up his I'm not taking no for an answer a little bit. And then he wanted to go on the train with her. Or he made, like, a joke about that. It was kind of like, I'm going to joke about it and throw it out there, see if you say yes or something. I don't know. Other things. That's deep. Deep. Yeah. He's just awkward and not good with the ladies, that's all. It's misunderstood. But the idea of familiarity, where we would be talking and seeing behaviors of people we know. And one of the problems that we have for reporting is that, TV and movies kind of make sexual harassment or forms of sexual violence as done by horrible black hole where your heart should be monsters. And, we can't see the real people in our lives as that because nobody's that. And then it means that we're not going to report anything because this is my friend, a real person who maybe made a mistake. And we're like, yeah, they're a real person with good qualities, and they maybe made a mistake that needs to be corrected. Right? We need to move forward with that because that is a giant barrier you brought up. Yeah, he seems skilled, though. Yeah, you're over it. Yeah. I'm supposed to repeat things for the recording. He's done it before. You're dirty. You need to go. I want to say that too. Yeah, there's that element. And the thing that is, did anybody pick up on how he was checking in with her about how much he likes it here and how he could have hired somebody else with more experience? You liking that salary? And I was like, that's some subtle, I'm just going to lay the groundwork with that, then we'll chat.
I think what you're getting at is you're saying he knows what he's doing. This is
Yeah.
not, yeah.
Other dynamics. Yes. He had power, yeah. Exactly. Yes, and so the idea is because he has power, it's an uncomfortable dynamic for the other person because they're not free to answer however they want. They're not free to necessarily say, you have done this before and you're dirty, you need to leave. You can't say that to your boss because you like having, rent paid and things like that. And that's also was indicative of her response afterwards when he's like, everything's okay though, nothing happened, right? It's okay and you're okay and we're okay. She's like, yeah, we're great. can I leave? That's still the moment that's going on when he's asking those questions. But also how this would look the next day if she does want to report, It's like, no, what do you mean? Like, nothing weird happened. We talked. I thought she was uncomfortable for a second, and so I said, hey, I'm so sorry, I like that. And she said, yeah, everything's fine. And then she gave me a hug, and we just went home. Right? Like, it would, in the retelling of it, could be even easily discussed. So let's take this scenario. I can't click on from this video. Let's take this scenario and apply it to using the mandated reporter sheet that you have in front of you. So you can skip groups of five. Just at your tables, if you would. There's a rubric, a kind of note-taking sheet that I want you to pass out around the table too, and that's for the observers because we're going to use role play, and we're going to want everybody who's not doing the role play an observer who takes notes. I just want to grab a couple things. We have a role play coming up, and I want to take some of the strategies that you observed, if you were an observer or the disclosure, strategies that you thought worked well. Things that the person did that you thought were good. Yes? So a resource was provided, providing information. So they got to the point of something useful. Okay, good. The G's worked well. The mandated reporter remained calm. Yeah, not very useful when somebody is disclosing a violent event or something distressing to them, and then they need to start taking care of you because you're losing your mind. Like, that's not useful. Let's not do that. Remain calm, being sincere. That's the biggest one. This is a little advocate trick for you I'll share. It's not really a trick, it's just true and good. When it's like when somebody tells you something and it's a lot, that it's still comforting to hear somebody say, wow, I don't know what to say, but I'm just so glad you told me. Like, boom, that's so validating, and you're not lying, and you don't know what to say or do, but you care, and you're like, I'm so glad you told me. It's a genius thing. Here's a little cheat card for you. It's loving and caring, and people respond to it. Yes? They demonstrated that they were there for them and supporting. How did they demonstrate that? She listened, just like waited and listened. So listening, waiting. Mm-hmm. Not being afraid of silence. I love that. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are they called? Who teaches communication? What are they called? Minimal. Is it minimal affirmations? It's like minimal something or other? Minimal. That's a bad thing. Minimal encouragers. Can we teach? No. Blake knows all the other things. Listening, minimal encouragers. Like, yeah, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anything else that you would want to pass on before we move on to our next one? Good stuff? Okay, so like having an open body language and encouraging tone. How did that come out, encouraging tone? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. So there's ways to kind of close a conversation. Like, oh, okay, well, things that are kind of closing somebody off of talking more. I wasn't doing that. Were there any turns of phrase or the way that someone spoke, like the words they used? Is there any language that you liked? that you heard? Well, terrible job, everyone, apparently. Or a terrible job observers taking notes. I don't know. No, I'm sure it was wonderful. But yeah, let's take a look out for language, phrasing that's worked well, that seemed to, I don't know, help, inspire, encourage, or validate. Right? Did anybody, when they were being disclosed to, say if what happened was wrong? Did anybody say, sorry, this happened to you? There you go. Those are some good ones. That's wrong. That's not how we roll here at Franklin University. I don't know that you would have said that language. That sounds more like me. But something like that. All right, let's take a look at this one. Scenario number 2. Switch your roles. Have a new reporter. Have a new mandated reporter. Have a new person disclosing. All right. So in this scenario, it says Bob. I'm sorry if your name's Bob here. It's not about you. I just picked Bob. Sorry, just tried to be super everyman about it. So Bob is an employee of the department, and he regularly tells popular jokes, is rude to coworkers, nicknames them derogatory names behind your back, uses sexual and racial slurs. He's not limited. And he has made some of these comments in front of his supervisor, Dale. Sorry if there's a Dale. So there's this dude that you see, Bob, and he's doing this stuff, and you know that Dale, his supervisor, knows about it too. His coworkers are upset about the conduct, but feel that since Dale hasn't done anything about it, they just have to put up with it. Joan. One of you tables is going to be Joan. Joan, a new employee, approaches Dale to complain, and Dale tells her that Bob is a good coworker and doesn't mean anything by the comments, that's just Bob. So the person disclosing at the table is going to be Joan, disclosing to you as a colleague. Okay? So somebody at the table, a new person disclosing is going to be Joan. Somebody else can report. Everyone else observe. I also have a little thing down here. Maybe, could I have another sheet? Because I feel like maybe we might have more awesome coming. Definitely. I have a thing down here that, you know, in 70 minutes we didn't probably nail everything that'll ever come up about questions and concerns around mandated reporting. So an area of follow-up, further information or practice that you'd like, things that aren't going to be solved today that we want to take note of. So if you have something in that category, go ahead. But was a hand raised over here for things that went well? Or you had a hand up, yeah. 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 Don't say it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, don't say, did anybody else have that, like, wow, I feel like an idiot robot, more cans of worms when I say mandated reporting? The fact that you're a mandated reporter means you go tell Blake. And you don't need to say those words unless that person, it means something to them. Yeah. 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 There was some language like, Franklin University, the whole university cares so much about it that they've said that we have to report anything that is violence because that's how much it matters. That's how seriously they want to support a healthy, violence-free experience. So I still sound weird. You're going to have to make it yours. I'm sorry. You're just going to have to be you. Like Claudette's going to have to be Claudette. She tried to sound like somebody else. It didn't work out. Like, we're all going to have to take the essence of supporting and informing somebody and make it your own, or it's going to sound bad. You get to skip everybody and tell Blake. Mm-hmm.
or the university to ensure that a matter is investigated in an equitable way. And so that's why when they said, you know, we would prefer that you don't go to your boss and tell private matters, bring more people involved in a situation unless it needs to happen. But if you do, you're still, you know, your boss then knows too. Hey, I've got to go that way. That's why we talk to supervisors, talk
Yeah.
to the president's staff, talk to everybody about this, so that everyone has a clear understanding of if something comes up, I must report it.
Yeah.
And it needs to get back to the people that have an obligation for the sort of investigation or handling some task.
Right. And I don't know, like the perfect why that doesn't work as well along with Penn State in that scenario is like go telling a supervisor would be Dale. So, like that system's not perfect. That's why we have it work that way. Yes, please.
I think, too, along lines with that, in terms of your reporting, if it's preferable to go to Blake also because you want to minimize the number of people involved for that survivor. So that person is already sharing a personal experience with you. Mm-hmm. Getting the least number of people involved is optimal.
Mm-hmm. Yes. An incident with a drank himself to death. Yeah, harassment and bullying. Yes. I mean, not all, almost all hazing and harassment is gendered in nature, but it's inclusive in everybody's policy that that's not allowed as well. And I just want to harken back to the first slide about Title IX being about support. This is about mobilizing everyone to, with as few steps as possible, initiate support for anybody. And, you know, even if it didn't fit under them immediately and as best as possible to their Good question. Other things that were good or things that were barriers, problems that you ran into? Things that need a solution? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Eye contact, body language. Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have other people involved with student affairs and people out of Urbana, and so it's not just one person factor news making all the gathering decisions here. It's a team that we come together and discuss what the best course of action is. We have legal counsel that's informing us on our decision making. So there's a lot that goes into this, but the err on the side of over reporting rather than under reporting.
Yeah. And like I said, Jill used the word narcly or narc-ish.
Yeah, narcish.
Narcish. Sounds like you're telling tales or something. But the majority of what in Title IX, like in education and support and what's actually happening in the Title IX office, a ton of time is spent doing a few investigations, and the rest of the time is just giving support and reaching out and making sure they knew that we cared, we heard, it got to us, and there's stuff for you if you ever want that. A lot of it is just reporting support. And that's why the students became activists in the first place, to get more regulation and support for Title IX in campuses, is because we're like, people aren't actually caring. They're not actually connecting. And this is the caring support work that you are in charge of doing. And it's a good thing. It's a helpful thing. And to avoid any survivor feels like they're being, bamboozled or railroaded by going to Blake, that's why on this page, can I still just to be clear, you being a mandated reporter means you talk to Blake. This part, how to report to Blake, this is the mandated reporter part. That's the only mandated reporter part of this sheet. Blake will give them resources and stuff. The rest of this is just ways we're trying to help. You have the resources too. You could also tell them, because you want to be helpful if that comes up in their conversation. Language is just language that is supportive of informing them and giving them agency. You're not mandated to be supportive and validating, and you're not mandated to, say, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's just a cool thing to do, right? That's part of what would build a community that says we care about the violence that happened to you, right? But you're not, right? And I would love for you to actually give the essence of, I want to help you find all the information you need, answer your questions, and do what you want to do next. In whatever words are your words. That's great. I would love it. It's not a magical incantation. I just want the essence of that in your words to be given to people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. What do you mean once you're a reporter? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. So, in anonymous reporting. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's different parameters around that. Yeah. Very similar institutions as well. Like, I work in behavioral health, so I won't have to see the counselor that's down the hall from me. That would be weird. Yeah, agreed. Any other trouble spots, awkward things, or wonderful things? Yeah. Where someone's disclosing and didn't mean to be disclosing. Yeah.
And different from you, like we've actually had situations where we've had to give the stock kind of language,
Mm-hmm.
happening. And then the student actually comes back to us and says, what the hell? Like, I just
Yeah.
told you this, I don't want to do anything with it. You know what I mean? So like, we had like an opposite reaction with it sometimes, I think because of that, where it wasn't a dedicated conversation where somebody came to us with a concern and
Right.
like they just sort of let it out within a broader conversation. So
That's why this link. Oh, go ahead.
so I don't know if there's any
Yeah.
tips for addressing that because I feel like that happens.
So that's part of this language, because if you had that conversation and just like blew by it and we're like, yeah, thanks, great, well, we'll change that class for you, bye. And then you're like, oh crap, that's the sort of thing I need to tell Blake. And so Blake will be reaching out to them, and they have no heads up that you are going to be sharing that piece of that conversation with Blake. That kind of sucks. And so could we eliminate that? Could we eliminate that by bringing this up right now? And it can be super, like, I don't know if you've ever had someone disclose to you and be super casual about it. Anybody, like, tell you a horrific experience? You know, sexual violence, car crash, whatever. And they're like, yeah, and, like, I was on fire for a while, and then they put it out, and, yeah, I was like, that was weird, and then I couldn't go to work for, like, 3 days, so, yeah, so I didn't see that movie. And you're like, wow, that's a lot. Are you, like, really, and they're just really high stakes, or they're really casual about really high stakes scenarios. You don't need to be like, stop, feel traumatized. You need to, like, freak out about what's happened to you instead. You could also drop in the element we would be telling Blake, once again, in a way that's about support. Like, wow, I moved because my boyfriend was beating me up a bunch. Like, I'm sorry that happened to you. You know, actually, we have resources at the college. Like, whenever we hear about this, we always want to support our students, and so actually there's a super discreet service at Title IX. I'll tell Blake, and he'll send you an email that's going to have resources in it. Because it's not an investigation. Right? I mean, like, you don't even have enough information with that to know if anything else would happen. And you would just be giving them a heads up, being like, hey, you know what, we really care about that. It doesn't matter it happened 4 years before you started going here. We have stuff that we want to give you. And so you'd get an email from Blake. Is it an email that you would send out? That's usually what, yeah.
The additional part of that is we're doing programming with students, and so the students will get this information as well. So they will understand that if they do share something, that they will go into it hopefully knowing that you're a mandated reporter and understanding this system. Now, there's a transitional period as this is being implemented, so there will be some time before this just becomes common knowledge, which is why this mandated reporting training is really important. But that is part of how we're going to address that scenario as well.
Does that make sense, though, of, like, how you just keep it casual with them, of, like, oh, wow, well, I'm sorry that happened to you. There's stuff for you that I'll just send your email over. Do that, because we care.
I don't know if there's an easy answer to it, is that say what we did with the safety at the beginning, it allows the person that's reporting to sort of determine what am I comfortable telling you, what am I not comfortable telling you. However, when it comes to the end, and pretend they've already laid everything out or laid a piece of information out,
Yeah. Did anyone have language around stopping somebody? About giving them pause before they kept talking? Anybody have something like that? As soon as you start getting geared up, or they explain, like, one thing, or, you know, something is really heavy in a topic in class or conversation that's going on, it's about violence, domestic violence or abuse or something, and somebody just says, you know, like, yeah, that happened to me, and you know that violence happened and you don't know any other details, right then is the place where you can say, wow, I'm so sorry. You know, it sounds like something really important happened to you, and you know that we have resources for anybody that's experienced violence. Like right now, like I would just pass your name on to Blake, and he doesn't need to know anything. I don't know anything except what you told me. But he would know that if you wanted to talk more, tell Blake all of that. Or if you don't want Blake to know, you don't have to keep talking. Right? Like that's a way that can be validating and supportive without freaking them out. And it's also giving them the full disclosure of what choices they have in front of them. Yeah. I think we have time for your question, then we'll wrap up. Yeah. 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 No, it's very typical that the way you find this out is because you're seeing or hearing the perpetrator of sexual harassment saying things, that it's Bob being Bob, and you hear it. And we can also say, Bob, that's not cool. We would report to Blake. That would get reported to Blake as well. Community resources for people to sort out their sexist or discriminatory behavior. a really great growth opportunity for Franklin University to explore. Make that. That's what I'm saying. All right, we have, we're coming up on time, but I will want to make space for at least the other hands. Yeah. Yeah, like history stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing where it's like, it's not danger zone only that we report. It's all like, that's awesome, and I have healing and stuff. Like, that's cool. And once again, I think it's always better if somebody's getting a surprise email from Blake. You know, I think that that's the thing that registers as like the jumpiest to me, is that it's a surprise. Now, sometimes it's going to have to happen because, like, I did hear Bob, and I don't want to talk to Bob. Like, well, Blake, you're going to be hearing from Blake because I'm telling him about this. You know, that's, you know. But for a survivor, being like, you know, all of our Title IX stuff is still, that applies to everyone no matter when, because we care about you and what you're going through, even if it happened 20 years ago.
I have that happen a lot,
Yeah.
giving programming, where students will like give up and give their whole experience to the whole room, and you're thinking, you got it all together, and it's still a mandated reporting opportunity.
Yeah.
And I had one student out of several that did this actually come back to me and say, you know what, I decided to do counseling.
Yeah.
Didn't realize I was feeling some...
She has a new, or they have a new layer to peel off of their journey of recovery. It's great. We're totally at time. We're around if you want to stay and talk. We'll be up here, and I left a marker over there for other questions or problems that you would like other information with. But thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you.